This is the story of a man whose entire childhood was spent in poverty. But through his hard work and dedication, he went on to build the company that made the world's most expensive car, Rolls-Royce. This car became so famous that the princes, princesses, and wealthy people of that era admired it greatly, and from then until today, it has remained a dream car for many people. This is the story of Rolls-Royce founder, Henry Royce. This story begins in the year 1863 in a small village in England where Henry Royce was born. When Royce was only 4 years old, his father's business collapsed and the entire family ended up on the streets. But this was only the beginning of their problems. When Henry turned 9, he lost his father forever. Now a huge responsibility fell on his mother's shoulders to run the household. She started working as a maid and Henry began delivering newspapers. Henry's family faced extreme difficulties, but as time slowly passed, when Henry turned 14, one of his aunts got him enrolled in the Great Northern Railway Company as an apprentice with £20. For the next 3 years, Royce worked day and night and learned carpentry, mathematics, and electrical work in the company. By the age of 17, he had become a skilled mechanic and started working as an engineer in a company named Maxim Western. However, due to financial problems, that company was also about to shut down. Royce had the option to join many other companies, but instead, he decided to start his own electrical engineering company. With his savings of £20, he began from a small office space. He started F.H. Royce & Company and brought one of his friends in as a partner. To grow the company, he did every kind of work, such as repairing sewing machines or doing electrical fittings. Royce observed that with time, the demand for electric lights and fittings was increasing in the market, so he began manufacturing arc lamps, bulb holders, and electric doorbells. This work changed Royce's fate. By the year 1900, the company's sales had crossed £20,000. In 1893, Royce got married and after some time he had a small family. Everything was going well and Royce was planning to build a very large factory. But then the story took a new turn. German and American companies entered the British electrical market. With their entry, competition suddenly increased and the prices of electrical goods dropped sharply. Despite all efforts, Royce's business began to crash. Watching the business he had built with so much hard work fail, his physical and mental health started deteriorating rapidly. But as they say, whatever happens, happens for good, because this was the point from where Royce's destiny was about to change. When he consulted a doctor, the doctor advised him that to recover, he needed to stay in fresh air and suggested that he buy a car so he could travel without putting strain on his body. Royce purchased a French-made car named Decoville and began traveling in it. But the car was very uncomfortable as it made a lot of noise and had overheating problems. Since Royce was a skilled mechanic, he decided to modify the car. He completely redesigned it. The redesigned car was superior to the original Decoville, and from here the idea of building his own car came to Royce's mind. He formed a small team and started designing his new car. All the parts were designed and sent to the workshop for casting, and finally, Royce's 10-horsepower 2-cylinder car began to take shape. This car was better than others in quietness, lightness, durability, and reliability. On April 1, 1904, it was road tested for the first time. In its very first journey, the car completed a distance of 50 kilometers without any problems. Royce built 2 more cars of the same model and kept testing and improving them. Now he had built an excellent car, but he was not capable of taking it to the entire world alone. And then enters the second hero of the story, Charles Rolls. Royce was presenting his car at an exhibition, and during this event, Charles Rolls noticed these cars. Charles Rolls was a passionate motorist and a businessman dealing in luxury cars. Rolls was looking for a luxury British car maker, and so he met Royce and examined the cars very closely. He was so impressed with Royce that he told one of his business partners that he had found the greatest engineer in the world. Within the next 3 months, Charles Rolls and Henry Royce signed an agreement to start a joint business to sell these cars, and the cars sold by this company would be called Rolls-Royce. In March 1906, Rolls-Royce Limited was officially established, and it was decided to supply 4 models first: Rolls-Royce 10, 15, 20 and 30 horsepower. Rolls believed that the best way to market a car was to enter it into racing tournaments. Therefore, Rolls participated in events like the Isle of Man Tourist Trophy and won those races, setting several new speed records as well. Through all this, Rolls-Royce had already established itself as a great car company, but their finest car was yet to come. At the end of 1906, they launched a model with 40-50 horsepower and a 6-cylinder engine. The body color was silver and it was extremely smooth and silent to drive. Therefore, the car was named the Silver Ghost. To advertise this car, Rolls planned a 24,000-kilometer endurance test. Except for Sundays, the Silver Ghost was driven continuously day and night for 2.5 months, covering 24,000 kilometers. The Silver Ghost passed this test without any problems. Additionally, Rolls organized several shows where he put the Silver Ghost through the whisper test. In this test, a coin was placed on the car's bonnet and the car was driven without letting the coin fall, proving how smooth it was. Because of all this, the Silver Ghost became famous worldwide and became the first choice of kings, queens and wealthy businessmen of that time. Rolls-Royce was achieving success everywhere and growing rapidly. But then a terrible accident occurred. Along with cars, Charles Rolls was also very fond of aviation. On July 12, 1910, he was flying a plane named the White Flyer. During the flight, the aircraft's tail section broke and the plane crashed from a height of 100 feet. In this accident, 32-year-old Charles Rolls lost his life. This tragedy deeply affected Royce. Somehow he was recovering from this loss when he received another shock in 1911. His health deteriorated rapidly. After consulting a doctor, he was diagnosed with bowel cancer. He underwent a major operation, but even after that, the doctor told him he would survive only 3 months. In this condition, Royce continued improving the design and system of the Silver Ghost from his bed. Then something happened that no one had expected. 3 months passed and Royce achieved 100% recovery. He continued improving the Silver Ghost. He noticed that it had become a trend to place personalized mascots on car bonnets. Following this trend, he got a mascot designed for his car. The mascot was inspired by a British actress and model named Eleanor Thornton. The sculpture depicts a woman leaning forward with her hands stretched backward and wind flowing over her. This mascot symbolizes a sense of grace, freedom and speed. Its name is the Spirit of Ecstasy. Due to all these improvements, Rolls-Royce was growing very rapidly. By 1913, its profit had crossed £90,000. But then something happened that pushed Rolls-Royce to the brink of destruction. The reason was World War I. In 1914, the war began. The economy crashed and companies like Rolls-Royce were heavily impacted. Sales dropped and employees had to be fired. People thought Rolls-Royce would completely collapse, but Royce had something else in mind. He met with military authorities and learned that there was an urgent need for high-performance vehicles in the war. Royce modified the Silver Ghost into an armored car and fitted it with a machine gun. This car was used in the Horse Desert regions of the Middle East to conduct operations and was also used for spy missions because it was extremely smooth to drive. It was also ideal for carrying injured soldiers, so many Silver Ghost cars were converted into ambulances. Rolls-Royce was widely used in the war due to its luxury features. While working closely with the military, Royce realized that the British Air Force was heavily dependent on French companies for aircraft engines. The British government wanted a British company to supply aircraft engines. Seeing this opportunity, Royce decided to design his own aero engine and in 1915 launched his first engine, the Eagle. This engine was far superior to others, and therefore the British Air Force placed an order of 500 engines with Rolls-Royce. Royce gained significant advantage from this. They began manufacturing engines for all types of aircraft, and even today, thousands of commercial and military aircraft use Rolls-Royce engines. In 1918, World War I ended, after which Royce focused on both cars and engines. To regain dominance in the market, they launched the new Phantom. This car was highly successful and brought Rolls-Royce to #1 position. Later, they launched Phantom II. After that, they acquired Bentley, which was about to go bankrupt. Then they designed another remarkable car, the Bentley 3.5L, which was a combination of Bentley and Rolls-Royce. But unfortunately, Royce never got to see this car.